Bitcoin just recently passed $100,000, and a lot of people are wondering, is Ethereum going to follow? And today we're going to answer the question, can ETH hit $10,000? I'm going to go ahead and answer it. The answer for me is a clear yes, and I have 7 reasons why I am super bullish on one of the top cryptocurrencies out there. So I just made this thread here, and we have some pretty detailed reasons on why I am pretty bullish. So is it over for Ethereum? To me, heck no. In fact, did you know Ethereum still has the majority of locked funds in all of crypto? And we're going to take a little dive over to DeFiLlama.com, and we're looking over at the chains, and this number right here is the total value locked in all chains. These are funds that are locked up in smart contracts or other kind of decentralized finance protocols, and Ethereum is just blowing away the rest of the competition. Solana coming in at a solid number 2 and Tron at a solid number 3, but you can see here Ethereum was 63% of all the total value locked in all of crypto. And as I say in the post right here, Ethereum is clearly dominating DeFi still. I hear your question as you're talking to your TV. Yeah, but that's just the whales with their 32 ETH and above, and this is where you're wrong, folks. If you didn't know, you could stake your Ether, but staking is the act of depositing 32 ETH, which is over $100,000. And so not a lot of people have 100K, so people think ETH staking is just for the whales. Well, folks, that is no longer true. Basically, every single one of these protocols allow people to stake ETH less than 32 ETH, and if you're using a major exchange like Coinbase, you can have 10 cents worth of Ethereum, and they'll allow you to stake that. It might take you months to get your first penny, but there is no barrier to entry if you do want to stake your ETH. Now, I also mentioned the deflationary/disinflationary angle. Now, we're going to ultrasound.money, and this shows you how ETH is inflationary/deflationary and all the upgrades and kind of a little timeline here. And so ETH had something called the merge. And the ETH merge was just a significant software upgrade, and that's when they went from proof of work, where computers would try to solve complex equations and they would mine Ethereum, and then they went to proof of stake. So you must hold some Ethereum and you stake it to help secure the network. Now, when we dive into the stats here, you can see since the merge, ETH is slightly deflationary, and I say very, very slightly. Now, since the merge here, 1,871,000 ETH has been burned and 1,788,000 has been issued. And if you look over the past year, it's close still. 841 ETH has been burned, but they've issued 804,000, so they've burnt about 35,000 over the past year. But when we look since the merge, which is 2 years and 82 days away, and that's this chart right here, you can see since around March, April, ETH has actually been inflationary. As we get closer to this line, that does mean ETH is inflationary. As the line drops, that means ETH is deflationary. But folks, it gets a little bit more complicated than that. Now, on the 7-day chart, you can see there are moments where ETH is turning deflationary slightly. And in fact, in the past few days, it has been on a deflationary run. And when you click in on the 1-day chart, you can see even better, ETH is maybe on the path to turning deflationary again. You can see it's spending several hours out of the day being deflationary. And so as activity picks up, more ETH will be burnt, and the more ETH that is burnt, the more deflationary ETH is. And that just means less tokens in the circulating supply. So we got ETH locking up all the TVL, we got ETH, with its huge staking narrative, and we also have the disinflationary angle. But the number 4 reason I am bullish on Ethereum is the transactions per second. Now, while it is true, several newer blockchains have made some bold claims lately that put ETH's transactions per second to shame, like Solana, like Sui, or Cardano Hydra. They just hit 1 million transactions per second. But ETH has some upgrades in store, and the upgrades are very, very bullish for Ethereum in the past. And when I show you this in the charts, is going to shock you and make you never want to sell your Ethereum again. Now, ETH's upgrade is going to be called the Surge. They had the merge, they had the Surge, they also have the Verge, they have all the things that rhyme with urge. And Vitalik has some key goals here, and one of those is to achieve over 100,000 transactions per second across Ethereum and the layer 2s. And he has a great quote right here. Ethereum should feel like one ecosystem, not 34 different blockchains. But I said upgrades in the past have proven to be very, very bullish. Well, you are not ready for how bullish exactly I'm talking about. Now, one of the upgrades was called the Berlin Hard Fork. Now, this is going to be important. This happened April 15th, 2021 when it went live. Now you see here on the bottom, this candle right here is April 15th, and this looks like a classic buy the rumor, sell the news. So this was the upgrade going live on the 15th, and we had about a week of volatility, but after the week of volatility, ETH set a record number of green daily candles. Now the significance of this is the amount of gains that Ethereum was seeing, yet the candles remained green. Now this right there, that was a 22% pump in one day. And when a coin pumps 22% in a day, after pumping for 10 days before that, you definitely expect a red candle must be coming around the corner. Well, folks, no red candles came. You can see they just continued to print more and more green candles, and some of them were very significant. And if you look, you can see several double-digit increases. In fact, it almost seems like more days it had a double-digit increase than a single-digit increase. So do not sleep on the effects of an upgrade on Ethereum. People want this chain to fail, and when it doesn't fail, people FOMO back in, and they end up having to buy it. Now, this one right here might be the most bullish narrative, and then we're going to dive into the charts here. Wall Street will fuel another bullish rally as well. One thing I've said for ages is old school value investors love a dividend. The problem with ETH ETFs is the buyers don't get any yield. Imagine you have $50 million to buy some ETH. Would you want to give it to BlackRock, or would you want to just buy ETH, stake it yourself, and then get that yield? You'll get a little bit of return on the ETH if you do everything yourself. So there might be some reasons to not give BlackRock the $50 million to buy their ETH ETF. Well, folks, that might change. Bernstein is reporting that staking may come soon for US Ether ETFs. And I'll just repeat what I wrote right here. If ETH ETFs can pay out the staking yield, and if the Jim Cramers of the world are essentially saying, well, you can buy this ETH ETF and it has a dividend, unlike the Bitcoin ETF, I expect a lot of people to rush in, and retail and Wall Street are gonna love that narrative. But now let's go into the charts, everybody. Now this is ETH, and I have a couple things I do want to show you. The first thing we're gonna show you is the money flow on the 2 week here. So I'm gonna go ahead and hide my face. And so the first time we had a huge money flow pump on the weekly candle, this is the important part, we're using weekly candles, it was this moment right here. So after the money flow turned green, Ethereum had a pretty significant pump. If we go to the very first candle that happened, catch the bottom of the candle, ETH pumped about 120%. And right here you can see the money flow went into the green again, and if we measure the move, you can see ETH has only pumped about half of that. So I think ETH still has a lot of room to grow. But that wasn't the only thing in the charts I want to show you. There's also something called the golden cross. And a golden cross occurs when the 50-day moving average crosses above the 200-day moving average. And you can sometimes change it. It just has to be a shorter time frame crossing above a longer time frame. It's a bullish signal suggesting that the market could be moving towards a sustained uptrend, and it looks like we're about to print a golden cross. Now, I zoomed in right here and I circled it. Last time we had a golden cross, ETH had a 100% pump, and it looks like we're about to have another golden cross as long as ETH can continue this momentum. So folks, those are the reasons I am very bullish on Ethereum. I would not get shaken out. I think ETH has a very clear path to $10,000, and I'll see you and your ETH at the top.